670 The Game. WTO Madison. Available anywhere on the iHeartRadio app. Now number one for podcasting. This is Talkin' Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network. Talkin' Golf is brought to you by
American Family Insurance. Insure carefully and dream fearlessly. Oak Park Place, offering senior living options for the lifestyle you deserve, with amenities and services for a carefree, independent way of life. Cherokee Country Club, Madison's only private facility to offer an 18-hole golf course, indoor-outdoor tennis, pickleball, fitness center, outdoor pool, and 2 restaurants. And by Wisconsin.golf, covering the people, courses, tournaments, and golf issues in the Badger State and beyond.
Now, here are your co-hosts for Talkin' Golf, the former Wisconsin men's and women's golf coach and member of the Wisconsin Golf Hall of Fame, Dennis Tiziani, and longtime Wisconsin sportscaster, Paul Brown.
Welcome to another round of Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network from Cherokee Country Club in Madison. We're getting to the end here, Mr. Tiziani.
Now one more. 17th hole. We got to make 2 birdies.
We do? Well, we've got
cut,
3 guests tonight. We got 3 guests tonight, and potentially they could be, their interviews could be a birdie, right?
Oh, yeah. Both of them are good. All 3 of them.
All 3 of them. Greg McLaughlin is going to be on. He is the CEO of the World Golf Foundation, and he's president of the First Tee. He used to be the commissioner of the PGA Champions Tour, and got elevated to a new job that was created in the latter part of 2018. David Roche is also going to be on. You got a history and a little background with David Roche.
David Roche, he played here. He's a real good player. In fact, he played on a team that finished second in the Big Ten, one of those, out in Happy Valley.
Okay.
And he's...
Well, I'm sure there's a story or 2 there.
There's one I'll tell you.
I think I know what. Does it involve the golf ball?
It does. He came on one hole.
No, we'll save it.
Okay,
we'll save it for when David comes on.
I was going to tell you now, but I'll probably forget about it.
No, I'll remind you.
Okay.
And the reason we're going to have him on is not only to talk about his days of playing for the Badgers in the Big Ten, but he's also an instructor for Harrison Ott, who just won the State Open Championship, and Harrison's going to be with us after we talk with David.
Yeah, but that's good. He's another fellow, as I told you. There are people in our state that are really performing the task of getting people interested in golf. You know, I talked to you about Derek Schnarr. Unbelievable, all the people that he has. David Roche the same way over in Milwaukee, but it's good quality stuff, both of them.
You mentioned birdies. How about 30 under par on the PGA Tour for Mr. Johnson?
That's pretty good.
5 eagles in one tournament.
Yeah.
I've been playing golf 50 years and I don't have 5 eagles.
Well, I can understand that. You're left-handed. You can't be making eagles left-handed.
But I'm
eagles
serious.
Right.
5 eagles in one tournament?
Yeah, that's pretty good. Pretty good. I mean, it's an all-time record. So there you go. 30 under, you couldn't dream of that. If you divide that before, that's 7 under a round.
26 under on the last 54 holes that he played.
Yeah, think about that. Birdied every other hole. Well, he's a good player, and he's just coming to his own. He has a great instructor, by the way. Now I forgot his name. Butch Harmon.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Butch is, because was nothing too much wrong with his swing, his game. It's the mental part. And if there's one thing, Butch and I used to room together, so I know Butch very well, and he's into the physics, but he's also big time in the mental part. And that's where he is with this guy here, getting him on the right track, of his history. They took a couple 6 months off there for a while, and he got married to
Gretzky's
daughter. That was a big thing for him. He's got 2 kids now, I think.
Settle him down a little bit, huh?
That's my point. And, he just was growing up.
Yeah.
And that's where he's at right now. You have not heard the last of this guy, however. I mean, he hits it too far. The big item that Butch did with him was his wedge, his short game. When you drive it 350 yards, you got nothing left. He's hitting small irons to a par 5. I mean, and plus he does putt real good, but he's very confident. And I know him a little bit. He's very appreciative of other people's feelings. He really is. And that was part of his struggle that he had. and now back at it, and a real contributor. He's a fun to watch. He's just a good guy.
And we'll be back to chat with Greg after this timeout on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
3, 2, 1. Grab your phone because now is your chance to win $1,000. Text the keyword LOVE to 200-200. You'll get a confirmation text and info. Standard data and message rates apply in this nationwide contest. That's LOVE to 200-200.
American Family Insurance is returning $425 million to our customers. This includes a 10% savings for all current and new personal auto customers for the rest of the year. We hope this does your world some good and reminds you that your dreams mean the world to us. Contact your agent or go to amfam.com to learn about more ways to save. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
A cherished family visit looks different today at Oak Park Place, but the feelings of love and support haven't changed. The focus is always on resident health and safety. Thank you to the families for finding unique ways during difficult times to connect with loved ones while maintaining physical distance. A wave and a smile from outside, a yard sign with a special message, all to bring joy to the residents. They have locations on Madison's east side in the Nakoma neighborhood, Janesville, Baraboo, Oak Creek, and Wauwatosa. Visit oakparkplace.com.
4. Wow, you're terrible at golf. Who taught you?
I Googled it.
You need to meet with Tiz.
What's a Tiz?
Dennis Tiziani, Wisconsin Golf Hall of Famer. He has over 50 years of playing and teaching experience with a ridiculous list of championships and champions. Maybe you could be his next protege.
Where can I find him?
At the golf range at Cherokee Country Club.
Well, what if I'm not a member at Cherokee Country Club?
Well, the golf range is open to the public, but have you ever thought about becoming a member? They have a new membership program where you can pay for what you play.
Yes,
whether
I do
you
have
play
Greg
once
on
a
the
week,
line.
once a month, or just want an unlimited option.
Wow, sounds like an ace in the hole. Where do I sign up?
Just call me, Kristen the Piston, at 608-241-8788, and I'll get you all teed up.
Cherokee Country Club is the only club in Madison to offer indoor and outdoor tennis, swimming pool, and social individual, family, and junior memberships. Call Kristen today at 608-241-8788. Cherokee Country Club. Pay for what you play.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
And we're back at Cherokee Country Club in Madison on the Talking Golf Radio Network, and along with Dennis Tiziani, or better known as What's a Tiz. I'm Paul Brown, and joining us now is Greg McLaughlin, who's CEO of the World Golf Foundation and president of the First Tee. But before we go to Greg, I'm just going to do a little bit of the background on Greg, who we've gotten to know the last couple of years when he was in charge of the Champions Tour and was obviously here in Madison with the American Family Tournament. He was CEO of the Tiger Woods Foundation. They started with about $500,000 in seed money, and now it's about $150 million. He ran the BMW Championship. Of course, he was in charge of the Champions Tour. That's just a few of the things that he did. And on the Champions Tour, they got the Charles Schwab Cup and about a 20-year marketing plan going there and that type of thing. So he's got about 30 years of involvement in the golf business. How'd I do, Greg? Is that a pretty good summary?
Well, Paul, I'm going to hire you as my PR person.
Wrong.
Thank you very much for that lovely introduction. How are you doing? Hi, Dennis.
Hi, how are you? How are you?
I think it's appropriate
Doing
that.
well.
Attaboy.
Yeah, I think it's appropriate that there's a Kiddingly radio spot running locally in Madison, not throughout the state, but they go, "What's a Tiz anyway?"
That's right. That's right.
I just heard it a minute ago. Yeah,
Well, we got to give him a bad time, Greg. He gives everybody else a bad time. So anyway, you started a new job, and it involves the World Golf Hall of Fame, the First Tee, and We Are Golf. Why don't you? This was a new position that was created, was it not? So kind of fill us in on the whole concept of how this developed.
Well, I enjoyed doing my time at the Champions Tour for what was about 4.5 years, and excited about really the golf tournament now, the American Family, which has really turned out to be one of the great golf tournaments on the PGA Tour Champions, and excited for Steve and Nikki and all the success that they've had, and all my friends at AmFam, which is really a great partner. So I miss not coming up there, having, grown up in the Midwest and being a Buckeye. It's always fun to see my friends from Wisconsin that are there. So I transitioned at the end of 2018, and actually it was 3 jobs that they kind of rolled into one. They had 2 CEOs that were retiring with the World Golf Foundation, and then separately with the Hall of Fame, and then one that was leaving the First Tee. So they kind of rolled 3 jobs into one, and it's been a fun, exciting challenge for me, especially this year in light of what's happened in our world with COVID-19. We've been working remotely like a lot of us have been, but it's been a fun opportunity.
Can we continue this interview with guys, a former Buckeye? Do we dare?
I was going to say boo, but I didn't. I left it go. I left it go.
I had to get it in. Hey, look,
I know it.
Right now. I mean, it's a very, very challenging year, really, for all of us. And no, I'm a Badger fan. We always enjoy our battles with the Badgers. So I had fun coming up there, and I love the pro shop. I mean, it was a little tough for me to go in there. The color was good, but other than that, no. But I'm Big Ten. I like most of the schools. There's a couple of them that we don't really care for, and I'm sure you guys are the same. But love my time in Madison. But some of the things you mentioned earlier. I mean, the First Tee. There's a fabulous First Tee chapter that we have, in the Madison area, and really throughout the Midwest, and certainly in Wisconsin. We have 150 chapters. We reach about 3.5 million kids, mostly domestic, 6 international chapters, about 20,000 individuals, volunteers, coaches, staff members, board members that make up the First Tee as it's approaching 25 years. Really founded by former Commissioner Tim Fincham, and the Hall of Fame is in its now 48th year. In 21, Tiger Woods will be inducted into the Hall of Fame, which will be pretty exciting. Another milestone in his great career, and the Hall of Fame will be celebrating its 50th year in 2023. And then the We Are Golf is really an initiative that was established in 2009 by the golf industry. 40 of the top golf organizations, and it mainly advocates on Capitol Hill and throughout the states around issues that affect golf. And certainly this year with the CARES Act and the payroll protection program that was put in place, a lot of golf owners, operators, and individuals were affected deeply. I mean, golf in the United States is an $84 billion industry with about $3 billion going to charity, and it's around 2 million jobs. So you saw the effects that still exist today of how the indoor space is being affected, as well as the cancellation of many events. I mean, currently, I think we're operating about 95% of the golf courses are open. So we've worked with a lot of the state organizations even throughout March and April to try and keep the outdoor space open because you could still charge green fees or member dues as part of it. So it's been a interesting and challenging year for the golf industry. But to date, rounds are up for the year, which includes March and April being virtually non-existent throughout the United States. But so we're excited, and you guys have a great golf community where you are, and I'm sure that the tee sheets are quite busy this summer.
Yeah, there's no doubt about that. And talking about this area, and there's over 1,200 programming locations in all 50 states for the First Tee. And Dennis, one of those was here at Cherokee, and that kind of thing.
Yeah, it's still
and
here.
That type of thing. You were very involved with that in terms of the First Tee.
Absolutely.
What are your thoughts on that, or your vision of that?
I still serve on the advisory committee, and Steve and Andy and Jerry, and we still are involved but can't meet yet. You know, they're not, but we have our own room here, our own place here where it's it's a center for First Tee. They use the golf range in the summertime. And of course the indoor one also they use. And we're a big advocate of that. I struggle with only the thing that with them, we haven't, I know here, got a player out of here that's gone on to some fame, some notoriety. We're getting close now. There's two people that are here now. One, they're both members at our club, or we have them here playing. That possibility can happen. Once that happens, you're going to see it really, really take off of people that get involved in the First Tee. The people that are here, those people that are on the administrative side, best ever is what's happening right now.
Yeah, that's good to hear. I mean, there's so many dedicated people. Thank you for your commitment and time really in giving back to the program. The probably the two best development opportunities that we do. There's Champions Tour event, the Pure Insurance Championship, which is played at Pebble Beach annually in September, and it's still on the schedule this year. Has a Champions Tour player playing with a First Tee, young man or woman, and then they'll compete really throughout the weekend, and 20 of them or so make the cut and be able to have an opportunity to play forward. And that event has been going on probably for about 15 years or so. So that's a great experience really for the kids to play along with the Champions Tour players. And then this year we announced our first national championship, which was a total of 72 players, both boys and girls, playing in a 54-hole tournament. We were going to conduct it on college campuses, and the inaugural event was scheduled for June at Clemson on the Walker course there, and then we postponed until October, and as the virus just kind of continued to linger on, we just postponed it until 21, but that will offer some opportunities for young people to be exposed to some college coaches, you know, to also get ranked both, you know, in the junior and amateur national rankings. So we're excited about that. That will next year be our inaugural event. So right now, I think we anticipate that we probably have about 10 or 15% of the kids that go on and play at the next level at some form throughout the program, which, you know, we're proud of that. We certainly would like to see that grow. And then the other key is that we just want kids to continue to enjoy the game and play the game and carry it forward, either at a public golf course or a private club. I mean, that's the whole purpose of it. You'd love to see another, you know, Cameron Champ or Harold Varner or one of the guys that, you know, came up through the program, and Scott Langley, another one that began through the First Tee program and continue to compete. That certainly would be a wonderful thing, Dennis. So fingers crossed that one of those two continue to develop.
We're the World Golf Foundation and president of the First Tee. Greg, from the perspective of all three of the areas that they've rolled into one and you're involved with, what's your vision as you look ahead? What are the challenges you face, or conceptually anything you might be thinking about where improvements or additional things can be done? What would they be, if any, at this point?
Well, I mean, we all focus, everybody that's associated with the game is, you know, growth and participation in golf is something that we all want to see. And there's a challenge that exists with, you know, golf courses that, you know, close on an annual basis for, you know, one reason or another, which, you know, certainly hurts the access over time. You know, one of the challenges, at least whether it's First Tee, PGA Junior League, LPGA Girls Golf, is, you know, kids need to get out on an 18-hole golf course, and having that opportunity to develop their skill becomes really critical. You know, the other challenge that I think exists is, you know, kids younger and younger today are choosing a sport. You know, in the old days, at least when I was a kid, you played every sport, and you didn't have necessarily the demands or commitments that exist today, that you have to pick a sport by age 12 and then you're playing it, whatever, 10 months and travel and doing everything from a commitment standpoint, which puts a lot of pressure on growth of the game within golf, to find kids that really want to, stick with it and continue that passion as they go through it, because there's just a lot of other competition that are going on and the pressures I think that young people get to, to make those commitments. And I think it's, all told, the idea, for us, at least wanting to continue to grow the game is ensuring that we still have the young people that are able to pursue golf and have those opportunities really throughout, whether it's First Tee, local junior programs in most cities, is ensuring that really they have that access really to the golf course. But look, I think golf is in a great place right now. You saw a great story with Colin Morikawa, winning the PGA, which, is a great story. And there's so many tremendous young players right now that are, you got Victor Hovland coming out. I mean, there's just so many young players. And then you watched Dustin Johnson, who's 35 and over the hill, shoots 30 under yesterday on a pretty hard golf course, and has a complete tournament, winning his 22nd tournament, and including his major. And I think his golf career is far from over. And I could easily see him winning, one or more major, going forward. So the elite game is, to me, it's in a fabulous spot right now. And you got Phil, who shows up at the Champions Tour event. Hopefully he'll be in Madison next week or next year to play with you guys.
That would be great. I know one guy I'll be following. It'll be another left-hander.
Oh, boy. Here we go with that left-hander stuff again. Yeah.
Hopefully he'll put the arm on Phil to at least, make a trip. Phil's right now tied for second with like 3 holes to go. So it'll be interesting to see how he finishes and plays. So I was delighted to see him come out and play.
I know how to
get a lot of great new players that are coming out. KJ Choi, Jim Furyk, Mike Weir. I mean, the Champions Tour is really, I think it's in a great place right now, and neat to see Steve playing some more as well.
All we got to do is get with Phil and say, well, we're looking at you possibly to play in the Ryder Cup. I mean, possibly. Oh. And then he'll come here in a heartbeat.
You think that sounds like blackmail.
That's it. That's right. We'll just get him to go. They're very close. Nikki and his wife are very close also. So there's a good possibility that they'll all be here.
Greg, when you look at your 30 years of experience and all of the different aspects of the things that you've done throughout your career, and you look at what you're involved in golf and an ambassador, a marketer, involved in all of those different aspects and the changes that you can make and the impact that you can have on the sport, this new position for you must be something that really feels kind of special, where you can make a difference.
Yeah, I mean, it's fun. Certainly the golf side of it and the Hall of Fame is really we're in a bit of a transformational point right now. We're coming up at 25 years at a museum that we have at St. Augustine, which we're kind of transitioning and trying to figure out what's the next phase of the Hall of Fame and how to honor really these, great legends, because it becomes a milestone in their career. I mean, if you take someone like Tiger, what's left really for him to achieve? I guess you've got Snead's record, which seems achievable. You got Jack's record, probably a little bit more distant. And now he's going to go out into the Hall of Fame, which is a milestone, in his career. So I think that's exciting, really, as far as what the next, 25 years are going to be with that. And then if you take something like the First Tee, you're reaching some 3.5 million young people today through youth development programs, and then introducing them to the game of golf, which is paramount. When you tie it again with PGA of America and what they're doing with Junior League or LPGA and USGA does with girls golf or drive, chip, and putt, so we've got all of the allied golf organizations, that's my board, PGA Tour, PGA of America, USGA, LPGA Tour, Augusta National, R&A, and European Tour. So you've got the big seven that are really running the World Golf Foundation. And then we have representatives from the other We Are Golf initiatives, which are golf course superintendents, national golf course owners, club managers. So you really have the top 10 organizations that touch golf, both the elite game and then certainly the other 99.9% of us that, play the game and enjoy it casually. So again, it's a good time. I think we're all ready for COVID-19 to be over and to return to what will be normal and get back to our lives, because I think it'd be good for the economy and certainly good for a lot of businesses.
One final thought, Greg, in terms of the Hall of Fame, I know there's probably a lot of things that go into that. There really is no specific criteria as to what you have to accomplish to get into a Hall of Fame, is there? Is there a bunch of factors?
There is. So there are two criteria that an individual could get into the Hall of Fame. There's the competitor, male and female competitors, and the minimum requirement is either 15 official victories and 1 major championship, or at least 2 major championships for consideration. And the way it works is there's a nominating committee that would nominate a group of individuals. And again, the event is held every 2 years, so it's a biennial induction ceremony. So the nominating committee will nominate a group of players, and then there's a selection committee comprised of allied golf organizations, media members, former players. This past selection that we did in March, Annika Sorenstam, Beth Daniels, Nick Price, and Curtis Strange were the members of the Hall of Fame. And then we had 7 various members of the media, and then the 7 board members that I mentioned all participated. So you have the competitor side, male and female, and then you have contributors, individuals that have made a contribution, and they're going to get in under a handful of categories. They could be an administrator, like Dean Beeman, or like Tim Fincham, or Joe Dye, or someone like that, or it could be an instructor, architect, someone that's made a contribution to the game as part of it. So the 4 that will be inducted that went in on the female side, it was Susie Maxwell Burning, won 4 major championships, 3 U.S. Women's Open in the 60s, Tiger, who I mentioned. And then on the contributor side, Marion Hollins, an amazing story, a woman that was instrumental at really helping build Cypress Golf Club and Pasatiempo, and also, if you can believe this, had some design input over Augusta National as she befriended Bobby Jones, and he gave her, she gave him her opinions as part of the development. And then Tim Fincham, former PGA Tour commissioner as well. So 2 contributors and 2 competitors that went in, and the contributors are really just going in based on a nomination and a vote of what their contributions really had been for the game.
Are the majors on a senior tour, or are the majors just on the big tour?
Just on the regular tour from a consideration. I mean, it goes into the resume, but it's mostly consideration on the regular tour.
Greg, we want to thank you for your time. All the best in your new position, and a pleasure to have you on.
Well, no, the pleasure was all mine, and I hope I see you guys next summer. And again, thanks for all you do for the game.
Okay, bud.
We'll be back after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Now that's a parking spot.
Introducing the I may have underestimated the size of my car policy with accident forgiveness from American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly. Get a quote. Find an agent. Visit amfam.com.
Optional features not included in base policies. Review policy for coverages and exclusions. American Family Mutual Insurance Company, SI, and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Hi, this is Dave Gary with the Princeton Clubs. A great round of golf requires the right club at the right time. Here in Wisconsin, the Princeton Club is the right club at the right time. If you want to improve your game, give us a call for custom golf fitness programs. We work with all types of golfers to increase flexibility, core strength, stamina, and overall fitness.
We're committed to excellence, the Princeton Club.
For more information, go to princetonclub.net.
This is Gary D'Amato with Killarney Golf Media. Check out our coverage of golf in Wisconsin and beyond on wisconsin.golf. We cover people, courses, tournaments, issues, and trends. Anything and everything that impacts golf in our state. And keep listening to The Golf Effect for expert analysis, topical dialogue, and great guests. Between wisconsin.golf and The Golf Effect, we've got you covered.
Sculpted by glaciers and played by champions, University Ridge Golf Course is the host site of the American Family Insurance Championship and home to the University of Wisconsin golf teams. University Ridge is now accepting advance reservations for the entire 2020 golf season. To get your prime tee time reserve, call 608-845-7700.
We got David on.
For more information about University Ridge, including 2020 green fees, visit universityridge.com. Play where the Badgers play and the pros play. University Ridge.
The golf season is in full swing, and so is Nevada Bob's. No more curbside deliveries or drop-offs. You get the full in-store service from Joel and his staff. Newer used clubs, they got them. Putters, balls, shoes, hats, and apparel for men, women, and kids. Nevada Bob's has you covered. Replace those old grips with new.
Guys, we've got David on. Don't worry.
Service with a smile. It's like Joel says,
your game, your store, Nevada Bob's, always at the best price.
Talking golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network, and David Roche is joining us now. A little later than when you anticipated. I hope Harrison Ott hangs on, but that was pretty informative.
It was very good. Yeah, and he is a good. He's good. I mean, I'm so happy that they have someone like that heading up the first tee, which is going to take a look at the broad perspective of who plays golf, not just a minority group.
You got a background with David Roche. First of all, David, welcome to the show. There's got to be a story or two between you and Tiz when you played for the Badgers. He's got one he'd like to tell on the air. Do you have any idea what it might be?
Dennis and Paul, thanks for having me. Dennis, I am not sure what the story might be, but I can only imagine.
There's a song called I Can Only Imagine.
I can only imagine.
What if we gave you
that's right. I can only imagine.
What if we gave you a hint and said it involved a golf ball?
A golf ball?
Well,
a golf ball that wouldn't.
I probably don't remember the story. That was so long ago. I mean, I think that was 20-some years ago. I was in college.
You want to tell it now, Tiz?
Yeah, I can tell it. He was playing. He was a good player. I mean, there's no question about it. He played on a team that finished second in the Big Ten, playing out in Happy Valley. And he was playing pretty good, but he just had a hard time making putts. So I asked to see the ball. And he showed me the ball. And I said, this ball is afraid of the dark. You need to get rid of this ball. And he did. He got rid of the ball. I think he shot 70 in that round, I think, if I remember right. But the ball that he had just wouldn't go in the hole. It was afraid of the dark. And he got rid of that. So then he went on to play pretty good. But he played good he played good all year round.
Does that bring back any memories, David?
The fact that Dennis remembers that, I'd like to know how many Big Ten championships Dennis was at.
2 for sure. Oh, how many I was at? 27.
Yeah, over your career.
27.
And you can remember that one.
Absolutely. Well, I remember you, David. Hugs and kisses. You know what I mean? I remember.
That is fantastic.
Oh, there's some more. I got some other ones. Some other boys that made dumb things too.
David, I can only imagine.
David, involved with golf instruction. In fact, he works with a young man who just won the Wisconsin State Open, a tournament you won also. Tell us about Harrison Ott.
Well, just we were thinking back. I actually talked to Harry a little bit earlier today, and I started working with him back in 6th grade. And I kind of knew right away that he was very mature for his age. And he had the intangibles in golf that sometimes you just can't measure. He was dedicated. He was disciplined, very, very smart, for the game. And like I said, I just really admired his maturity for his young age when I first met him.
Tell us about his game. Where's his strengths? What does he do well?
Well, we used to call him Harry the Magician. So that was his nickname, because he was the magician, kind of around the course or around the greens. Super steady ball striker, really, really good golf swing, and he really just doesn't make many mistakes. And obviously, you can see as he kind of ran away with the State Open there. I mean, he won by 6 shots, which I don't think that's been done in quite a while.
Dennis, in terms of development talent and that kind of thing, you guys, David's got a sight for it. You can see it instantly, that kind of thing. Obviously, here's a young man that has a lot of ability, huh?
Which one? Harrison?
Yeah.
Yeah, he does have some ability, but he just gave you the key. It's development of that ability. I mean, we go through this all the time when we get college coaches, for instance, that want to hire or want to recruit players that are good players. There aren't a lot of those. The ones that are really good and the teams that are really good are places that have a development program. And fortunately here with this fellow here, David's got a couple of them. Harrison Knott's not the only one. I told you about Derek Schnarr the same way. They're developing players all the time. But you have to give a little bit of attention a lot of times. You cannot do hours where you have 1 and 2 hours of lessons. You're better off doing 30 minutes or 20 minutes, but do it a lot of times. And once you get and I know about this young man, once you get this fellow to talk back with you and to communicate, then he's making progress, or then you're really teaching. And David does a good job with that. Like I said, there's not a lot of them in the state. There's some, but he stands out, and Derek stands out down here of developing players.
David, what's your philosophy when you're using, and for example, Harrison Ott as an example, your philosophy and approach to giving good instruction?
Well, I mean, a lot of times, obviously, it's based on the player. Like I mentioned, as far as when I met Harry, I kind of knew he had, I call it high golf IQ. He had a very high golf IQ. So, when we communicate together, we may talk about different feels, different things, what he's trying to do. And he has personal preferences in the golf swing. He kind of likes certain positions. He likes certain arm position, even at the top. And, so we just really work together as a team to kind of get him into those positions where he feels like he plays his best and he feels like, he's going to perform his best. So really, I just kind of look at it for a guy like Harry, we're just a team, and we kind of throw things back and forth at each other, and we just really got to make sure that we're reaching his full potential, all the time.
We're chatting with David Roche over in the Milwaukee area, does a lot of golf instruction. David, for people that are thinking about getting instruction and that type of thing, what should they do? What should they be looking for in picking an instructor to help them improve their game?
Well, I think there's kind of there's maybe a little bit of old school and new school. The new school is definitely technology. So if somebody's into technology, I mean, obviously there are devices out there. I mean, I use a TrackMan, but there are lots of devices out there that you can utilize, to help you with your golf game. And obviously, you don't have to have a TrackMan, and you don't have to have, some of these devices that are available. But if that's something that somebody's into and feels like that's how they can really improve their game at a faster rate, then you really do have to look at that when you're looking for a golf instructor. But there are lots of good golf instruction, throughout our state or throughout the country. It's just more a matter of, what you are looking for in that golf instruction. So I'm a technology guy. I do use TrackMan. I do use some other devices for putting and things like that. And, that fits a certain style and percentage of golfers. So that's what I always reference to people. What are you looking for? Do you need to get some data feedback? Do you need to get some video feedback? Well, then that's kind of, what I use when I teach.
A follow up to that on your perspective,
Yeah,
Dennis?
he's got the right idea. I mean, I take advantage of those technology, But the instructor has to know, but the player too has to understand what makes the ball go high, what makes the ball curve, and why is the path correct or not. This will show you it. But my deal with instruction is you better be able to relate things in such a fashion that the person can grab onto that and then not correct those things or make them better. Path, shape, and trajectory. That's the key. And this business that he has will show it to you. We use it too. And, ball spin, things of that nature are, important, and certain balls affect the spin. Not every ball does the same thing. So it depends on how much you want to get into this person, but you teach them how to hold the club correctly. And, there's some things that you can't have an opinion on, and that's a fact, right? You can't have an opinion. A line is straight and a circle is round. You can't have an opinion on that. And that's what this is about. He's laughing. He understands exactly what I'm saying. But that's the point. It's how that circle relates to that line. And then all the things that go into it, measuring up core with hands. I mean, that's it. He does good. I know I followed what he's doing with some of the players and talked to some of those players. And he's good because he knows that. But then again, he grew up in an environment that, discipline and motivation. I mean, those were the things that we worked on here, and he does it well. Of course, he married a nice gal. Yeah. That's a big item. He out-punted his coverage when he did that, but I had to get that in too, you know what I mean?
David? Dennis, that is absolutely correct, and I will agree with you 100%. I definitely outkick my coverage in my wife's department.
That's right.
And David's going to leave this interview thinking Tiz hasn't changed from the days when I played with him. No. Thank you, David.
Thanks, David. Keep up the work, bud.
Yeah.
We'll be back after this time out.
You bet.
On the Golf Effect Radio Network. A cherished family visit looks different today at Oak Park Place, but the feelings of love and support haven't changed. The focus is always on resident health and safety. Thank you to the families for finding unique ways during difficult times to connect with loved ones while maintaining physical distance. A wave and a smile from outside, a yard sign with a special message, all to bring joy to the residents. They have locations on Madison's east side in the Nakoma neighborhood, Janesville, Baraboo, Oak Creek, and Wauwatosa. Visit oakparkplace.com.
Play the best-kept secret in Wisconsin golf. Wild Rock Golf Club in Wisconsin Dells. This Herdston and Pride design not only features stunning views from elevated tee boxes, but also showcases the natural beauty of the surrounding area that will dazzle your senses. Secluded and sheltered from the outside world, Wild Rock is unlike many places you played before. A true test of golf for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time online today and see what you've been missing at wildrockgolf.com. That's wildrockgolf.com.
Hi, this is Dave Gary with the Princeton Clubs. A great round of golf requires the right club at the right time. Here in Wisconsin, the Princeton Club is the right club at the right time. If you want to improve your game, give us a call for custom golf fitness programs. We work with all types of golfers to increase flexibility, core strength, stamina, and overall fitness.
We're committed to excellence, the Princeton Club.
For more information, go to princetonclub.net.
Why drive an ordinary car when for the same monthly payment, you could be driving something extraordinary? Aaron Perkins, General Manager, Zimbrick European. Imagine yourself behind the wheel of a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, or Porsche. More safety, performance, and luxury, and way more fun. And getting more costs less than you think. Zimbrick European makes leasing affordable. Discover the value for yourself. Stop in and test drive a Mercedes-Benz, Audi, Porsche today. Visit Zimbrick European and find out why leasing the car of your dreams makes so much sense.
Hey, Lauren, you ready for things to get back to normal yet?
Yeah, I really am. I really miss hanging out with my friends and family, going out to eat, and sporting events.
You should check out Cherokee Country Club this year. You can enjoy sports at a safe distance with our golf range, indoor-outdoor tennis, swimming, and beautiful 18-hole golf course. Also, our sports lounge is open to the public. Have you tried their Friday night fish fry?
No, I haven't. I think that's something my family and I can really enjoy. I'm going to tell my friends about it. Where can we sign up?
Call me, Kristen, at 608-241-8788.
Cherokee Country Club. Pay for what you play.
And we're back on Talking Golf from Cherokee Country Club in Madison here on the Golf Effect Radio Network, along with Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown, and Harrison Ott is with us. Harrison put together rounds of 267s and 268s. He won the State Open, and he did that by 6 shots, and it was the 100th anniversary of that tournament. Harrison's from the Brookfield area, Milwaukee Marquette High School. Harrison, first of all, congratulations. Recap the victory in the State Open for us.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, and thank you for having me. Yeah, I mean, I got to play with Mark Wilson the first 2 days, and so that was pretty awesome. I felt like I learned a lot from him, but he's just also a super nice guy and super personable and made it really easy and stress-free the first 2 days. But I felt like a little bit the first day coming off the USAM and playing with Mark, I was kind of out there and didn't have my best focus, but physically was pretty good and shot 3 under. And then the next day I didn't have my best physical game at all, but scrapped it around for 3 under. So I was really proud of that round. And then that third day, the 36-hole day, the greens were faster and I definitely had some sloppy moments, but I was able to, kind of all the last 3 rounds, I was able to piece together good back nines to give myself a score. So it was, super fun, and Blue Mound was in amazing shape. So, I was talking today, it was like all you had to do was hit the putt and read it right, and it was probably going in on those perfect greens. So that made it really fun for sure.
What did you learn from Mark?
A couple things. I mean, first I was super impressed by how good his putting speed was. So I was trying to kind of pick his brain about, like, when he was on tour, how would he kind of adjust to different green speeds and that week, and kind of prepare week to week. And I think just that kind of echoes the overall things that I learned from Mark was I think his preparation is elite, and I think that's what made him a career on the PGA Tour. So that, was just a general thing that is certainly a little inspiring, but I think a key learning point I learned from him, because it was interesting. He had a yardage book, and I thought that was just really cool that a guy who's won 5 times on the PGA Tour and was carrying his own bags, that he could talk to me, but took the time to make a yardage book and was really competing that week. I thought that said a lot.
We're chatting with Harrison Ott. Harrison, you're from the Milwaukee area, as we mentioned, and give us a kind of a quick synopsis of your young career in golf and on from high school to college at Vanderbilt and that type of thing. Kind of just update us on that process of where you're at right now.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Marquette High, and we won the first state championship that they've won there, and in a while. We won that my junior year. And then I didn't really have a great senior year or great freshman year in college. And, but I kind of just stuck with what I knew and, trusted the team around me of my coaches at school and David Roche at home. And, I've definitely, played better the last 2 or 3 years or whatever. But so right now, I played the North-South Am, the Southern Am, and then the Western, the US Am, and the State Open this summer. And we're just kind of waiting to hear what our final product on this fall season looks like for us.
The journey took you to Vanderbilt. Why Vanderbilt? Just out of curiosity.
I really liked the coach, Coach Limbaugh. He's definitely one of the most important people in my life, and he just does things differently, and it was pretty apparent on my first visit. And I knew after the first visit I wanted to go there, but I went with my dad and sister the first time, and so then I talked to my dad, and I was like, I probably can't commit to a school without my mom seeing it, so I went down with my mom, and she felt the same way, so shortly thereafter committed to Vanderbilt. And, I'm really happy with the decision I made.
You're talking about people that have influenced your life. David obviously is a very important person in your life. Tell us a little bit about his working with you and the relationship you have with him.
Yeah, I think we started seeing each other when I was in 6th grade, and I would go every other Sunday in the winter into the Curry Park Golf Dome and get lessons from him. And it was definitely, my game definitely needed some cleaning up at that point. As far as I was just a junior golfer that me and my parents didn't really know the talent I had, and kind of just gave it over to David to shape me. And so that was pretty cool. It's cool to think back on those times. And then I think since then, especially in college, David's been a huge influence on me as a person, but also me as a golfer and a thinker on the golf course. We played together a bunch. We played, a handful of rounds this summer. And we talked on the phone a good bit. I called him before the Sunday before the State Open and asked him kind of what he had thought about the course, because he played it the day before, and about some tee shots. And so I think since then it's been, a good bit of physical work, especially during quarantine. I needed some physical work, and he really came up and helped me huge amounts with all that. But overall, it's been a lot of, shaping me as a person and as a thinker on the golf course lately.
Had to be kind of cool for you. Apparently you grew up about 10 minutes from Blue Mound, where you won the championship, huh?
Yeah, that's right. I grew up right by Storms Golf Range, so close to where David teaches, and really close to Blue Mound.
What would you say your strengths are as a player, and where do you need to improve overall in your game?
Yeah, I would say I hit my driver really straight. So I try to give myself an advantage on some tighter holes that others might lay up on by hitting my driver. And I think putting is my strong suit. So I'm usually trying to get looks, and I'd rather have 30 feet than any sort of chip. So some people are a little different, but that's my game as far as that goes. And I think an area I want to improve on is my chipping around the greens. And something I struggled with a little bit at Blue Mound was my wedging. So it wasn't bad, but I definitely like it to be better.
Dennis, what advice would you give a young man who's obviously very talented and talking about what he would like to work on, or things that he could think about as he advances in his career?
I think he's doing the right. He's got, there are priorities that we deal. David will tell you about them. Faith, family, religion, or faith and family and education, and then golf. And I don't know if from a faith standpoint what it means. I don't want to elaborate on that, but it sounds like from a family standpoint, he talked about his mom and dad. That's impressive. Okay. Golf, and he has a mentor. 2 mentors actually, but one here who has known him from the start. And then the business of golf, if he keeps those priorities in perspective, it'll be pretty good. But I like the idea that he's picking major championships and going to places where he can fail. Because in the business of going to places you can fail, you'll get stronger, and then you'll figure out what it takes to move up the ladder. So I think he's on the right track with this. I like the idea that he's working with David. He won at Blue Mound. That was a major championship course here, 1940s or something like that. So being able to handle the greens there and those speeds are an indicator that he has some potential, that he should see how far this goes, how far it can take him. When you get going and you've won tournaments, that is inside of you to win, but then to move up on a bigger stage.
You also were involved in the round of 16. What did you think of Brandon Dunes?
Yeah, it was amazing. I've joked. I guess I didn't really do my homework too well because I didn't know we were going to be so much on the ocean. So that took me by surprise a little bit in the practice round. But it is a spectacular place.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely one of the best golf destinations in the world, if not the best.
Well, Harrison, congratulations on winning, and all the best to you in the future. I'm sure we'll be chatting again as we watch you develop in your career. Thank you very much. We'll be
Thank
back.
you guys so much, and thanks for having me.
You bet.
We'll be back after this time out on the Golf Effect Radio Network.
Contact your agent or go to amfam.com to learn about more ways to save. American Family Insurance. Insure carefully. Dream fearlessly.
Some exclusions apply. American Family Mutual
Yeah,
Insurance
sorry,
Company,
my
SI,
mistake.
and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Play the best kept secret in Wisconsin golf. Wild Rock Golf Club in Wisconsin Dells. This Herdston and Pride design not only features stunning views from elevated tee boxes, but it also showcases the natural beauty of the surrounding area that will dazzle your senses. Secluded and sheltered from the outside world, Wild Rock is unlike many places you played before. A true test of golf for players of all skill levels. Book your tee time online today and see what you've been missing at wildrockgolf.com. That's
About 3.5.
wildrockgolf.com.
Hello, this is Paul Brown. On behalf of Dennis Tiziani and myself, we would like to thank American Family Insurance Company and the Stricker Foundation for allowing us to help them raise money for the Birdies for Health campaign during the last two American Family Insurance Championship tournaments. Because of their backing and our efforts of promoting the Birdies for Health campaign, we were able to raise more than $120,000 for Alzheimer's research at UW Hospital. Obviously, that successful effort would never have happened without the very generous support of people in the Badger State and around the country. Not only are we very grateful for the support, but you should know that 100% of the money raised for research went to the Alzheimer's and Dementia Research Center at UW Hospital. Even though the American Family Insurance Championship won't be held this summer, we will look forward to next year's tournament, where we, along with your help, will continue the fight to find a cure for Alzheimer's disease. And we're back on Talking Golf on the Golf Effect Radio Network, along with Dave McCann, our engineer, Dennis Tiziani. I'm Paul Brown. A couple of things in terms of tips. Tiz, what's the best advice you can get somebody that has really a bad habit in playing, and how do you try to get rid of that bad habit? What advice would you give?
What bad habit of playing?
Well, let's say that you continuously hook the ball or whatever.
Well, if you are looking at shape and trajectory, shape meaning big slices or big hooks, high and low, then you go right to your grip to make sure that you have the proper grip, right? If you got a path problem, in other words, you started crooked, then that's the relationship of your shoulders to the line at impact, but that's governed by your footwork. If you're having these problems, you get the instructor who knows just the things that I'm talking about, how to address shape, trajectory, and path. Shape and trajectory are in your hands. Path is your footwork, but that governs the relationship of your shoulders to the line at impact. If you're a shoulder releaser and your shoulders are in a different position always at impact, the ball's going to go crooked.
Speaking of the grip, can a glove tell you anything that may be wrong with your grip? I mean, seriously. The person may not look at it, but I think, hey, here in my palm, it's wearing out or whatever. What does that mean?
It's probably moving, and that's what it is. It's the friction that's moving that. It may be in the wrong place. If you're going to do a grip, you go by the base knuckles. In other words, the knuckles at the base of your forefingers. The base knuckle on your left hand should be in the upper left-hand quadrant of the club. The base knuckle of your right hand should be in the upper right-hand quadrant. And then when you get your grip on, have somebody at the end pull the toe of the club and pull your arms towards them. When they pull your arms toward them and it's a straight line, in the release position, then take a look at the face of the club, then adjust it accordingly, because if it's on too strong, it being your grip on too strong, the face will be turned in. If it's on too weak, it'll be turned over. Most of the issues in your left hand, though.
Well, there's a couple of tips, hopefully, that will help people that have bad habits.
No, I was speaking of a right-hander.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Not a left-hander.
Well, another one's in the book. We're down one more show, and then we're done for the year.
Birdie the last hole. We'll birdie the last hole.
Do you think we did the birdies here tonight?
Yeah, that was pretty good. Yeah, that guy that's the head of the
McLaughlin.
Yeah, he's good, and those other boys are good too. But McLaughlin's he's A1, man.
We'll be back next week to do it all over again. So for David McCann, Dennis Tiziati, I'm Paul Brown. That's Talking Golf for now on the Golf Effect Radio Network.